Textbook versus reality. Today we're going to be talking about piercing line candle formations and what it looks like in textbook versus what it looks like in reality. And the first thing we probably ought to do is define what is a piercing line candlestick formation. And so what it is we're going to find a level of support because this is a bullish candlestick formation. So we need to have a big bearish day, price action coming down at or near support, and it can have some wick top or bottom, but this next point very, very important. So there's not a lot of variation on this kind of candlestick formation. It needs to be almost textbook. Whereas we have a close and then we need a gap down from that bearish day and a rally, and this is where it needs to rally at least halfway of the bearish candle. It needs to pierce at least half of that bearish candle on the bullish rally, and that's where we get the piercing line name. And so it looks something like this, where we have a big bearish candle, gap down, rally back up, and pierces at least halfway of the bearish candle. And the indication would be the bulls are back in charge and they should push it up. Now, of course, nothing is ever perfect, but that would be the idea behind it. Let's look at a couple other things. Now, I threw in some that are not exactly piercing lines to give an example of the variations that are not in fact a piercing line because in this case it gapped down but did not come back up halfway, so it doesn't have the same bullish idea behind it. Now that doesn't mean things can't happen, it can't rally. It's just that's not that candlestick formation. This was very similar. Rallied back up, but did not make it halfway. Still, a lot of psychology was behind this, where it gapped up and took back a lot of the bearish movement, but just not quite enough to really call it a piercing lines and have that solid psychology behind it. So what we're really looking for, is that gap down, rally up off of a bullish trend. And that's important too to have the bullish trend because sometimes it can look like this, where we have a downtrend, right? And it can bounce off that support. And we do have a good piercing line formation here with a big bearish candle and a bullish one taking it back. However, what did it do? Well, it did rally up to resistance, so it did have a bullish rally, only to find the downward trend taking over. Trend is most important. So really, what we're looking for is something in a bullish idea. If we're looking for a bullish play, obviously, is something more bullish where it comes down to support, gaps down, rallies up, and pierces halfway. So hopefully that helps you kind of understand and see this pattern a little bit better, and continue to watch for this and others of these textbook versus reality series.